Well, good morning. Yes, I see the time. It's 11:11 and it's actually Tuesday, but this will be Wednesday's video and I will schedule it to go up around 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Speaking of scheduling, I did a video that went up today with Peter. We actually recorded it last night. I had all of the processing done except for the upload before I went to bed between 11 and 11:30. Got up between 3:30 and 4, and I started the upload actually it was just a little bit before 4 a.m. This morning took over 4 hours to upload, 3 upload attempts. It looked like it was going fine, and then it just seemed to freeze. And I got a message that I had never gotten before, which those of you on Facebook will see. I don't remember if I posted it on YouTube. I don't think so. But in any case, uh, I'm doing the video at this time today because at 4:44 I will be babysitting again, which I've been doing lately to help my daughter. Anyway, here's the topic for today. Plans by truckers for the Constitution. Once again, I was going to do another topic and changed my mind shortly before recording. I have been getting a lot of emails about the big event happening this coming weekend, and I have to put a letter in here. As truckers for the Constitution move in on the District of Criminals. It would be nice to have the U.S. military join them as they attempt to force the arrest of actors posing as government officials for treason against the Republic for the United States. These are the ones who have been blatantly committing or ordering the commitment of crimes against not only the American people, but against the entire human family. What happens this weekend will speak volumes in regard to the level of awareness of humanity. I'd love to see the de facto government shut down permanently and an interim governing body take over with a mandate to restore common law, checks and balances, and most importantly, the human rights of all people everywhere. It's getting very interesting. Then I put in parentheses here is one of several other videos on the subject, and I put the link in there to the YouTube video. In any case, as I said, this has been something that a lot of people have been sending me videos and commentaries on, and I thought, well, the other subject can wait. In fact, I might do it. I was going to do one earlier on the difference between driving and traveling. Traveling is a natural right. Driving is considered a privilege, but driving is a specific definition. It means one engaged in commerce using public roadways. In any case, that can wait for another time, and I might do tomorrow's video, or actually Thursday's video, might be more along the subject of what Neil Dyer has been addressing to me over and over again uh, about dealing honorably, and I have some really poignant opinions about the way he sees it compared to the way that I see it, and I think that's worthy of another video. Neil has been a regular commenter for a long period of time, and I will give him some of the attention that I think he would like. In any case, the truckers there's supposed to be 1 million truckers moving in on Washington, D.C. this weekend, and on Friday they want to order the authorities to arrest the congressmen and women for treason against the Constitution, against the people, against common sense. Folks, it does my heart good to see just regular people waking up to the fact that our government has been doing things that are unlawful and hurting people in the process of what they're doing. When they talk about national security, I want you to know that what they mean is protect us, the criminals, from the people. That's their security issue, because they know when enough people wake up, their ball game is over. Their gig is up. It's finished. They cannot continue to operate their crimes in the light of day and in the glare of the spotlight that people are starting to shine on them. I wish the mainstream media would get behind and start telling the truth. I wish we would start forcing the hand of these people that are giving orders to commit crimes. And law is law, and the law of the land in the United States and everywhere else on earth is not the same as what they are doing in our courts. Our courts are using maritime law, military law against the people, and that is unlawful to do. It is unlawful. And I want you to understand that. Maritime law, when they have the gold fringed flags and stuff in the courtroom, that means it's a military courtroom. And we are just ordinary people. When we go into that, they're not treating us as human beings. They are treating us as actually as corporations, because they are a corporation. But it's military law, and military law does not uphold our rights, which is why our rights have not been being upheld. And I applaud all the truckers and all the people across the country and around the world that put energy into this to bring changes that we can really believe in. Not again like Obama promised in 2008. He brought us nothing except more of the same old that Bush gave to us and that previous presidents, except he made it worse. It's been escalating and getting worse and worse, because I guess that's part of the awakening process for humanity. It has to get really bad before we get out of our comfort zones and take action to wake people up. And I am an advocate, a strong advocate of taking action. I am not, hear me, I am not an advocate of violence. I will never advocate violence. I believe in peaceful protest, and it's the right and responsibility of the people to protest when they see things that are being done that are wrong. It's acting in total dishonor, Neil. I'm giving you a little preview. It's acting in total dishonor when you see crimes being committed and you try to placate the criminals that are committing the crimes by dealing with them in an honorable manner when they don't treat anyone in an honorable manner. That's a preview of what I might talk more about in another video. In any case, the move this weekend, the 11th through the 13th, against, and here's another thing. People say whatever you go against grows. That's something really crazy about that, because we live in a world that has been polarized. And if you take a strong stand for something, it's always going to be against the opposite. That's just simply how it is in three-dimensional reality. And we're still living in three-dimensional reality. I know I hear a lot of talk about moving to 5D and all that stuff. And that's wonderful. But we're not there yet. And there are many people around the world that want to build a bridge to get us from where we are in what we're calling 3D to where we're going to go into a more spiritually mature world where we love one another and where we treat each other with honor and with respect and with dignity. But as long as we have people that claim to hold authority and claim to be in power, that are not respecting the rights of people, that are not honoring the humanity, that are not honoring the very principles and foundation upon which the United States government was founded, and the principles which have come down to us as humanity through the ages in such documents as the Declaration of Independence, and before that, of course, the Magna Carta, and more recently, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted in 1948 by the United Nations. Now, all of these agencies, if you will, the United Nations, the United States of America Corporation, all of these are corporations that have been foreclosed upon. And there's a strong movement happening in the world, across the planet, around the planet, to repurpose these things so that they begin to be held responsible and accountable, and people cannot commit crimes against humanity and get away with it. They cannot order the assassination of heads of state. Even if the heads of state need to be brought to justice, they need to do it lawfully. And the governments have not been operating lawfully. They're operating outside the law. Oh, I know. They create what they call laws, but they're not. They're acts, they're statutes, they're ordinances. And they have no weight in law when they violate the Constitution. Anything that violates the rights of the people, the natural rights of the people, is a violation of law, and people that do that are lawbreakers. And the district of criminals, the leaders, so-called, have often and always made laws that absolve themselves of taking responsibility. For example, the Congress doesn't have to pay into Social Security. For example, they don't have to do the Obamacare thing. They don't have to do a lot of things that they require the people to do. Now, in other words, they're putting themselves on a platform above the people. This is not only unwise, it's unlawful, because all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as written in the Declaration of Independence 1776 by our forefathers, who, yes, were Masons. And yes, we have to work within the system that we currently have, because there are laws that are on the books to enforce the law of the land. And the people that are the biggest lawbreakers on this planet are not the people that are sitting behind bars or facing indictments for non-crimes. And a non-crime is like smoking pot or any other crime where there's no victim, where there's no one that's causing loss. The ones that are causing loss and creating victims are the leaders. And it's time that you understood this. It's time that the whole world understands this, because as we wake up and claim our birthright to be free people, to live within a conscience that is not seared, but a conscience that has a heart and has a soul and has a mind for truth and wants to embrace right and not commit evil against other people. Anytime any person violates the rights and the free will of another, they are committing a crime against humanity, and it has various levels of severity. It's even to the point where they kill people. They've killed people for speaking out like I'm speaking out. They've been doing this for a long time, trying to shut people up. Well, it's time that we not let them shut us up. It's time that we speak with a louder and louder voice till they get it on Capitol Hill and all the other Capitol Hills around the world and all of the other nations of the world, till they get it that the people want our rights returned to us. We're tired of governments opposing our rights and opposing our freedom and opposing that which is good and decent and just and fair. It's time that we raise our voices. It's time that we take a stand. And I applaud the truckers for the Constitution, who this weekend will be moving in on what I call, and it's not affectionately, the District of Criminals, because they have been committing criminal acts, not just in my lifetime, but for the last 100 years, as they've been taking orders from the Federal Reserve and the other central bankers since 1871 in this country, the United States. And I would love nothing better, as I said in the blurb, than to see this government stopped completely and taken down, and an interim government put in place, whether it's military or whatever, that the people's rights will be upheld and the law will be upheld that is already on the books, and that we'll be able to build an adequate bridge into the new reality of heaven on earth, which we cannot create until we stop the current reality from exercising control and domination over the human family. I believe that's about all I'm going to say. There was another thought that came in there, but it's not here right now, so I'm just going to let it go, unless it comes to me immediately, and it's not. But anyway, this is an exciting weekend. I again ask you to Put your prayers with the truckers, and put the prayers with all the people that are actively trying to change the world for the betterment of mankind. It's time, it's time, it's time. Oh, and I remembered what I was going to say. People that hold public office in the United States, including police officers at the local level, and anybody that holds public office, is required by law to swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States, to uphold and defend that Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and our state constitutions support that Constitution of the Republic that's part of our culture, part of our heritage. And what they have done to circumvent this is they have added two words: to uphold and defend the Constitution and the government against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The government is subservient to the Constitution. The Constitution is a check and balance against abuse. And it's time that all of these oaths of office, and everyone that put an oath of office to uphold and defend the government against all enemies, is arrested for treason, because that particular oath of office is treasonous. Thank you for listening, and namaste. I'm glad I remembered.